Hi, my name is Dawn Rollman. I did my research project on the various plant species seed dispersal methods using white-tailed deer. The diet of the white-tailed deer. White-tailed deer consume various fruits and grasses depending on the seasons and availability. They prefer woody and herbaceous plants that can often be seen eating various fruits and leaves off the trees and bushes. Here's a picture of a deer eating some corn, one eating some grass, and some eating some berries. Zoochory seed dispersal methods. Zoochory is where seeds, spores, or fruit dispersals are done by animals. Endozoochory is where the seeds are ingested by the animal and then dispersed, just like seen here in this picture. Epizoochory is where seeds attach to coats or hooves and are carried away and dispersed by the animal. Deer are important seed dispersers and disperse more seeds overall than birds do. There have been several studies on white-tailed deer, and they can also disperse seeds over long distances, creating new plant species in locations they did not previously exist. Many plants need animals for successful seed dispersal, as they cannot disperse their seeds very far away by themselves. Plants often use endozoochory by having coats on them which make their seeds tastier and more attractive to animals, so they eat them. Deer help aid invasive species travel. The Armour honeysuckle is an invasive shrub that depends on white-tailed deer for seed dispersal. Since the plant is unable to move by itself, and the fruits cannot be carried away by the wind, they just fall to the ground. The white-tailed deer, as well as various bird species, eat the fruits of the shrub, and then the seeds are dispersed through their feces. By using endozoochory, they have seen invasive plant species move to places that they have never seen them before, causing fragmentation in forests. Studies show that the ingested seeds have high germination rate, and that the white-tailed deer could disperse the seeds further than 300 meters from the original seed source. While doing a study on whether or not white-tailed deer were dispersers for Amur honeysuckle in Ohio, they found that the deer preferred to eat the branches with the fruit intact. And here's a bird eating the fruits, and then here's a picture of the honeysuckle with the fruits. The deer can also be predators to seeds. The mayapple is a perennial herb that is shade tolerant and very common in deciduous forests in the United States. White-tailed deer actually inhibit the seed dispersal in the mayapple because they like to eat the fruits before they're ripened, like the picture here where they're red. The fruits are red when they're unripened and yellow when they're ripe. When the study was conducted to see the germination rate of the mayapple seeds that were ingested by the white-tailed deer that they found in the feces, they found that not many of the seeds survived being passed through digestion. However, they found the seeds ingested by raccoons had a higher germination rate. This is possibly due to the fact that the raccoons eat the ripe fruits and the deer eat the unripe fruits, as they are eating the branches of the shrub. They found that the ripe seeds in the summer that were in fact digested by raccoons had a higher germination rate. So in this case, the deer became the predators and were inhibiting the plant growth by eating the unripened seeds. Plants also use ants and deer for seed dispersal. The Trillium grandiflorum has a rather large seed without a hard seed coat, so it was previously only thought to have been dispersed by ants or falling from the plants. But they were finding seeds to be dispersed farther away, which have led us to believe something else was dispersing the seeds. They were unsure how the seeds were being moved and dispersed so far away, but found that the white-tailed deer were in fact ingesting the seeds while eating parts of the plant and defecating them over 100 meters from the parent plant. And here's some pictures of the Trillium grandiflorum, and then a picture of an ant doing seed dispersal. Exotic plant invasion. Lamb's quarters are an invasive weed. The white-tailed deer have also enabled the destruction of native species plants by introducing exotic invasive species into areas. Exotic plants invade areas that they're not normally seen in by using white-tailed deer to disperse their seeds over long distances. This is seen in many woodlands where their deer will eat plants from suburban areas such as redroot, amaranth, and lamb's quarters, which is a common weed, and then defecating in forests, spreading the plants where they normally would not grow. The lamb's quarters, as pictured here, is a lettuce-like vegetable that the deer like to eat. So the deer eats the seeds along with the foliage, not meaning to eat the seeds, and then they're dispersed. Little hogweed, as well as amaranth and lamb's quarters, employ this technique by producing many tiny seeds that the white-tailed deer ingest while eating the leaves of the plants. These leaves are high in protein, vitamin C, omega-3 fatty acids, and are found near vegetable paths. This is a deer that is eating in town. So the plants just make themselves more attractive, and that increases the rate of dispersal so that they can be dispersed by more than just wind or gravity. Pods are also used for seed dispersal. White-tailed deer have also helped plants that were previously thought to only be able to reproduce by auditory or autonomous mechanism of seed dispersal. Britain and rose, right here in the middle, which is a legume, usually has pods that are found on the forest floor and dispersed via auditory. They were found in the white-tailed deer feces. They found that the seeds of these were similar and had fruit-like properties that the deer liked to eat. This was fascinating as the plants normally use pod release dispersal instead of being ingested by animals. These plants could disperse either by the white-tailed deer eating them or the pods releasing seeds on their own. This gave more than one mechanism for seed dispersal, creating a longer distance for which they can travel instead of staying close to one area. So the conclusion is, overall, several species of plants use white-tailed deer for long-range seed dispersal and increasing the germination success rate of their seeds. If they didn't use deer or other animals for seed dispersal, the seeds would just stay close to the parent plants. It is interesting that some plant species have more than one mode of seed dispersal, which helps to increase their overall fitness. Even though white-tailed deer can be good seed dispersers, they can also be predators by reducing the overall seed dispersal rate. Scientists have learned quite a bit about this subject, but there are also other things that they could try. They could find out about the different relationships with plant species and seed dispersal through white-tailed deer compared to other animals and other methods of dispersal.